The most dangerous person in any conflict is not the loudest or the strongest. It is the calmest. Miyamoto Musashi understood this paradox and built a systematic method of mastering emotions that his opponents could not overcome. This approach allowed him to win 60 consecutive duels to the death. His four-step system for maintaining composure is just as effective in modern conflicts as it was in feudal Japan. It begins with something most people rarely consider: emotional distance. When someone yells at you or challenges you, your body floods with stress hormones, your heart races, muscles tense, and your thinking narrows. This is the trap most people fall into during conflict. Musashi realized that victory depended less on skill with the sword and more on the ability to rise above the emotional storm. He described observing conflict as if from above, watching emotions like drifting clouds instead of being consumed by them. Think about the last time someone made you angry. In that moment, you became your anger. Your words, actions, and thoughts all belong to the emotion rather than to your true purpose. That was the mistake Musashi's opponents made. They became their rage, fear, or pride. Emotional distance creates space between what happens and how you respond. Instead of snapping back at an insult, you pause and notice the emotion rising within you. I feel anger, not I am angry. That subtle shift changes everything. Musashi honed this practice even in life-or-death duels, like his famous battle against Sasaki Kojiro. He deliberately arrived late, fueling Kojiro's frustration. While Kojiro was consumed by his emotions, Musashi stayed detached and clear-minded, seeing the entire conflict without distortion. The second principle is anticipatory awareness. Musashi called it foresight, the ability to sense what would happen before it unfolded. In the Book of Five Rings, he wrote about predicting an opponent's moves. It wasn't about reading minds, but about recognizing human patterns. Anger makes people predictable. Fear narrows their options. Like a master chess player seeing 5 moves ahead, Musashi studied these patterns with relentless focus. Modern science supports this. When conflict catches you by surprise, your body releases a flood of stress hormones, triggering fight or flight. But when you anticipate a challenge, your brain prepares more carefully, releasing smaller doses that sharpen focus without clouding judgment. Musashi often studied his opponents in advance, their favorite techniques, temperament, and how they handled pressure. Before fighting Kojiro, he even carved a wooden sword slightly longer than Kojiro's famous blade, gaining a subtle advantage in reach. The third principle is strategic breathing. Musashi noticed that when swordsmen panicked or grew angry, their breathing was the first thing to falter, becoming shallow, rapid, and uneven. He taught that by mastering breath, you master the mind. He developed a rhythm for combat. Inhale through the nose for 4 counts, pause, then exhale through the mouth for 6 counts. This calmed his body at critical moments. Even today, this technique works in meetings, arguments, or before delivering bad news. One controlled cycle is enough to restore clarity. Finally, Musashi emphasized purposeful action. Clear intention outweighs emotion. While his opponents fought from anger or fear, he always fought with a defined goal. Every move served a greater purpose than simply surviving the duel. The same applies today. In any conflict, ask yourself, what is my true aim here? Keeping that purpose in mind anchors your actions and prevents you from being swept away by emotion. Together, these 4 principles, emotional distance, foresight, strategic breathing, and purposeful action, form a complete system. They are not just tactics for conflict, but reflections of deeper truths found in Buddhist non-attachment and Taoist natural action, Wu Wei. They reveal that clarity comes not from overpowering others, but from mastering yourself. In our era of constant digital and personal conflicts, this wisdom feels more urgent than ever. Social media rewards outrage, Politics thrives on division, and even relationships strain under stress and impatience. Most people react instantly to provocations, turning small disagreements into destructive fights. The rare person who remains calm doesn't just win arguments. They see clearly in ways others cannot. True strength is not in winning every battle, but in choosing which battles are worth fighting at all.